You remember today when I asked you about that greatest integer, the L looking thing? Some of you guys yelled out, hey, that's the absolute value symbol. I said, well, it looks kind of close. So you must have heard the word absolute or words absolute value before, right? Am I right, Tricia? You got it right this time. Okay. Do you know what absolute value is? You know what it looks like? Can you tell me what it looks like?
You're off screen.
Almost. There you
It looks like this, doesn't it? Okay, like two parallel segments. Do you know what it does? Okay, we'll get to that. Danny, do you know what absolute value is? Okay. Here's a number line. Here's 0. Here's a number 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. How far is a -4 from 0? 4. How far is 4 from 0? 4. Notice, Riley, both those numbers were positive, weren't they?
Yep.
Correct? I could be 15 miles south of Sauk Rapids, or I could be 15 miles north of Sauk Rapids, right? If I wanted to, I could say a -15 is south and a +15 is north, right? If I wanted to. And so negative would indicate south and positive would indicate north, correct?
Yes.
But in both cases, I would be 15 miles from Sauk Rapids, right?
Yeah.
So absolute value, Tricia, is the distance a number is from 0. So, what's the absolute value of 100? 100, because it's 100 from 0. How about what's the absolute value of a -100? It's 100, because it also is 100 from 0. Everybody with me on that?
Yep.
Okay, so I get things that look like that. What did I put in the absolute value function? What did I get as an answer? 5. What did I put into the absolute value function?
4.
And I got a
4.
4. Now, over here I'm going to have the domain. Domain is x, right? So I have this. So when I pluck a number, now you got to follow this. This is kind of scary. Okay, sometimes it causes little twitches in the brain, so be careful. Right? X is less than 0. Is a -5 less than 0? Yeah. Did I get a -5 as my answer?
No.
Did I get the opposite of a -5 as my answer? Okay, would everybody agree? If I had put a -6 in here, is that less than 0? Would I have gotten the opposite of a -6 as my answer? So if x is less than 0, it's negative, correct? My result is going to be the opposite of what I put in there. I'll say it again. These numbers are negative, such as a -5. What came out is the opposite of a -5. Notice when I put x in here, it's a -5. That's how I write the opposite. Would you agree? Oh, it's only true when what you put in there is negative. What happens if it's 0 or bigger, my domain? Well, what could that be like? I stick 4 in there. What did I get back? 4. do I have to change the sign at all? So what should this be equal to? It should be x. Is everybody okay with that? So when I graph it, and I'm jumping to part C, when I graph it, it looks like this. On this side of the graph, this is where x is greater than or equal to 0. Remember us doing that on the review? Remember that? What points can I have? Here I have x. Here I have the absolute value of x. 0, 1, 2, 3. What do I get for answers? 0, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. What does that look like? Well, it's going to be here, 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 here. That looks like this line. Does anybody know the equation of that line?
Y equals X.
Y equals x. The slope is 1, right? Correct? And the y-intercept is 0. So it's y equals x. Over here, x is less than 0. And so I will have a table like this. X, -1, -2, -3. The absolute value of x is 1, 2, 3. So what does that look like? Well, it's going to be -1, 1, -2, 2, -3, 3. So it looks like this. The absolute function is a v. It's a linear piecewise graph. If the equation of this line is y equals x, what's the equation of this line?
Y equals negative X.
Y equals a negative x. Okay. Are we okay on that? All right, equations. X minus 2 equals 3.
Want to move up?
Yep. This is my last part, and then we're going to stop. All right? Now, the thing in here could be 3, right? Allie, you're nodding yes. What could x be to make it 3 in here? 5. She's right. One of the answers is 5. 5 minus 2, is that 3? Is the absolute value of 3 3?
Yes.
Pardon?
Negative 1.
And you're saying a -1 works? How come a -1 works?
Negative 1 minus 2 equals negative 3, which the absolute value is
This thing in here, if it was a -3, I would get 3 as an answer also, he's saying. He's saying if I put a -1 into here, I'd have a -1 minus 2, which is a -3, but the absolute value makes it a positive, so I have those 2 answers. Are you okay with that, Cody? Sometimes that's hard to see. So what we do on absolute values is we create 2 equations. We say this thing inside that absolute value symbol could be 3. And then I can solve by adding 2 and get 5. That's one of my answers. But the other thing in there could be a -3, right? Because, Megan, the absolute value of a -3 is also 3. So I change the signs. I make it positive, and then I made this equal to negative. And then I solve this. And lo and behold, I get a -1 there. And those are the 2 answers I get for my absolute value. Okay, almost every single time I'll have 2